Today I want to start talking about chord inversions, and just to be a wee bit more specific, I'm going to use triads. Now it's just so we've got 3 notes, we can get the basic concepts. Inversions work with chords of more notes than 3, but today we're just going to try and keep it simple and go with 3 only. When we spoke about triads in a previous video, every single one of them that we did was in root position. So we had like C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then back to the tonic again. And as I said, we kept them in that stack of a third and a third. And that's what we call the root position. Now, normally when I'm explaining this to people, I use snowmen because, well, I'm mildly mature and it makes me feel good. So if I just show you, so normally I've got, here we go, there's snowman number 1. Right, and if you talk about C major, let's just stick with C major because that's what everybody on the internet does. Let's go for C. We know that C is in the bottom, a third up from that is the E, and then if we go up a third again, or a fifth from C, we end up with C, E and G, and this is called root position. Okay, now if I then move the bottom note up to the top, then we get into another inversion. So if I take that, obviously the poor snowman is going to fall down and we're going to have an imbalanced snowman. C at the top, then E will be here and G will be in the middle, and that's what we call first inversion. All right. Now again, if we just follow the same principle, we've got the most imbalanced snowman, we've got the poor wee G in the bottom, and then we've got a big fat middle. It's a bit like me during lockdown. And then that's the C, and then we have the E up at the top, and this is called second inversion. Just to add to that, sometimes if you're looking at them, just to make them a wee bit easier to recognise, you'll see it in the music. The root position is built up of 2 thirds, right? And we've discussed before there could be different types of thirds. And then first and second inversion is a mixture of a third and a fourth, or a fourth, then a third, depending on what inversion it is. Just to add to that, just to show you what they look like on the piano, as I said, we've got the root here, okay, with our thirds. And then as I said, with first inversion, we have a third and a fourth. So there's your third, and then there's your fourth. Okay, and what we've done is we've taken the bottom note, put it up to the top. Then if we take the bottom note and put that up to the top, that's second inversion. And as I said, this is our fourth here, and here's our third. Now if we take the bottom and put it up to the top again, then we end up back in root position. And that happens, you can go all the way up and down the keyboard, and that's just the order of events. It obviously goes backwards if you're going down the way. Sometimes when you see the chords being written, you'll see an A, B or a C. So and just do a quick bit of revision. So if we're talking about a scale and we have, each note has a number in the scale, and that's what we call a degree, right? If we're in C major, then C would be 1. If we're in G major, G would be 1. So the 1 always moves, it's the root note of the key that you're in, all right? So if you have your 3 different inversions, where you've got your root, sometimes you'll see a wee A after them. If you move into first inversion, you would see a B, and second inversion, you would see a C. So if it was a tonic triad in root position, you would see 1A. If it was a tonic triad in first inversion, you would see 1B. And if it was a tonic triad in second inversion, you would see 1C. I can't believe I actually managed to get through that. Well done. Just before I go on to the last point, I just, if you like the video, then please click the like button below and subscribe to the channel. That would be really helpful. Thanks very much. If you've got any questions as well, just fire them into the comments. Last point I want to go over is open and closed chords. Now, what we've done before is when we've been talking about the root first and second inversion, we've been taking notes that are as close as possible to each other. So if we have, the C, the E and the G, we know that's the 3 notes in the C major triad. Each time I go up an inversion, the notes are always as tightly packed as possible. You'll see in the music that we have what's called open chord positions, where we kind of spread it out a wee bit. Now you still have a first, second inversion, or an A, B, C, whatever way you want to think about it, and it's based on the note on the bottom. All right, so the first one we've got is, if we start on C, skip 1, land in the G, and then we need an E to complete the triad. Okay. So I know this isn't great piano technique you're seeing here, but it's to try and make it easy to see the chord. Okay, so that's your root position. And then if we move into the next one, first inversion, okay, because we're on the E, up to the C, up to the G, okay. So that gives you that, okay, or this, which is awkward to play. And then if we look into second inversion, we have the G at the bottom, then the E, and then the C. Okay, and that's it really. Again, if you do another inversion, then you end up back in root position, all right? Thanks again for watching the video. I hope you found it useful. As I said, if you've got any questions, fire them into the comments below and I'll get back to you when I can. Cheers.